Action.
We are so lucky because we get to talk to not only our friend, but our client who we just sold into a very cool house, not very far from me, Genieve, Burley, who is a chiropractor with B Chiropractic, as well as a yoga master, a turf class genius. She does everything. And you probably already know her. So we're just going to find out, you have had to do a lot of things now online. How is that all going?
Um, it's great. Like I can't imagine doing this online like in the early 90s. It'd be like dial up, like and then, you couldn't have more than one person on for a block probably. So the Wi-Fi's been good, but it's been different. I felt like it was hard in the beginning to feel connected to people. And then we started doing things like I'm doing yoga every morning on Instagram, and everyone's like, oh, that's so nice you're doing it for everyone. I'm like, I'm actually, it's also something that tethers me to getting up in the morning, because I could stay up late and watch a lot of TV or drink more wine. But like, there's this, it's holding me in a space where I want to be there for people at 8 and be really clear and good. And so that's good. And then I just started doing rehab sessions with my patients online. And I know a lot of people are feeling pain in their bodies. So they're small group sessions, and we spend a half hour like learning techniques to release tension in your body together. And I just feel like that's soothing my heart a lot right now. So I think it took me a few weeks to figure out what it looks like to work in and to connect. And now it feels good. I just don't want it also to be forever.
Can you give us that? I mean, that's awesome. And we've done these interviews with people and they've talked about creating some routine, which is amazing. It helps keep the flow of the day. What online services can you elaborate on what you're offering to clients?
Yeah, I'm going to be really clear because before I was like, and now I know exactly what I'm offering. So about 5 days a week, I do yoga on Instagram. So it's just live on Instagram, which is just free and people can tune in. The second thing I'm doing, and this is where I feel like I'm contributing the most in terms of health of bodies, because I'm not able to be in my full practice right now, is that we do a half hour. So on Wednesdays, we focus on something in the lower body. So for instance, today we did the hip flexor, and I show them techniques they can do with their own body, whether it's self-massage, a lot of ball rolling, or stretches to really target an area. And this Friday we're doing shoulder. So Wednesdays and Fridays from noon till 12:30, I do these sessions. And then I'm teaching through turf, which makes me happy because, all of us are impacted by this, and especially businesses that are paying brick and mortar spaces for a big amount of rent. So I'm donating my paycheck back to turf right now because I want our community to stay connected and for some income to come into them, because they're doing their best. And then I'm also teaching online with the class, which is out of New York. So they have a website where they stream live classes, and I have a schedule with them too.
That's cool.
I wanted to ask, normally you are downtown in Yaletown at the juice truck, at your place, doing all the cool things that we like to do and working with clients. And you have 2 girls that are normally at school. You have 2 rescue dogs, a cat, and an awesome husband. And now you're all in your house. Now, luckily, you have a big house now, which is nice.
Thank you guys. We talk about it all the time. I'm like, what would we do if we were at the other place? I think this was an act of divine intervention, you guys being the divinity, because literally I don't know. But sorry, continue your question.
So my question is, I watch you on Instagram and I laugh, and your kids are just hysterical. And, they are doing online classes, and they're doing even extra. They're doing like German and Chinese and cooking, and they do TikTok all the time. Like, how are you? Is it fun, or is it just mayhem? How's it all going? How does your husband think about it?
This is my husband every day. He's like, can you tell me what's going on today? What's going on in the house today? I'm going to say, I feel like it was easier when school didn't start back because I got on it right away. My kids need the anchoring just like I do because they tend towards chaos if they're not anchored. So I enlisted my friends. I have friends teaching drama and German and Mandarin. And then I was teaching biology and English. And then I had a ballet teacher from Seattle Zooming in with them every day. And then I had a set schedule. That was about 5 hours kind of off and on all day. And now school has kind of thrown a link into it because they just do things whenever. They're like, oh, we have a music call at 11 today or whatever. So I feel like we got settled into something and now it's chaotic because their school is just scheduling all the time. And I noticed that they're missing appointments with their drama teacher and stuff. So I feel kind of like the head of the house, and it's a lot of I took it on myself. It's not, no one else asked me to do this, but at the same time, I feel like now it's hard to hold space for everyone and where they're supposed to be at any given time.
That was, so one of my questions for you was, what's the most challenging part for you with work and with what you're doing? And it sounds like that balance or juggle at home is sort of at the front.
That's 100% the balance right now is that as essential healthcare providers, and people might ask why a chiropractor is essential, is because for instance, like if someone has a terrible disc herniation and it's more risky for them to go to the hospital, and it's also not something the hospital needs to be dealing with right now, is a disc herniation. Not that it's not important, but it's something that other people can manage. So I do see about 1 to 3 people a week that are in need of some pretty significant care to enable them to be comfortable at home. And that's the description we've been given by the province and by our governing college. So I mean, I described to you guys what I'm doing online, and then I am seeing a couple people at home and a couple people by telehealth too. So like this, and then trying to keep up with what the kids are doing, because at the end of the day, it's still me that they come to with everything. And my husband's working, and it's kind of like they respect daddy is like in his office from, well, my office. He's in my office from like, 7 a.m. to 4. And it's like because daddy always went to work, but I was kind of always home and to school. So it is hard. Yeah, it's hard. The struggle at home is the hardest thing right now. And I feel like my brain is not able to settle into one space for a long period of time.
What have you been enjoying? Like give us the highlights. What are the
I feel like I've gotten closer to the dogs. We're really buds now. I feel like my husband and I have gotten closer, and I think if someone would have asked me, like, if this ever happened, what would happen to your marriage? I'd be like, oh, that would probably not be good. But it's been the opposite. We're really connected. And then also the kids, having this, they're cooking with me and we're doing exercise together. And I think I'm observing nature a little more, like waking up when the light comes in and hearing the birds and watching spring change over. There's definitely silver linings.
I totally agree. We've asked everybody that question, and it's always very similar. It's just
really
kind of appreciating time and a little bit of a reset.
Yeah.
Into what's going on. Do you think you've learned anything from this online world that you might continue once we're back to normal?
Yeah, definitely. I think that this whole rehab piece, that I'm able to help people help themselves. And like, my goal is never for anyone to be super dependent on coming in for care. So if I can offer people things that if they have something at home, I have people tuning in from Jordan and Australia, so if I can help them learn how to heal their own body or self-therapize, then that's great. I mean, that is really good. And I think the other thing is, I think we've found ways to stay connected that I wouldn't have done before. Like I had a Zoom call with my family, and oh my God, that could have been a Saturday Night Live skit. It was just like somebody's chin and like trying to figure out how to use audio or video and like trying to tell them like, Uncle Rick, press this. And like just a complete, it probably raised my stress level, but it also was so hilarious. And so we've got it down now. And before we just always thought the only way we could all see each other was the one time a year I go to Ontario and we have dinner at one place, and we can, there's new opportunities now. So we never did that before.
I totally agree. We had one client who always wanted to Zoom, and I was like, what is this Zoom thing?
Yeah.
I always say to Paige, you Zoom, I'll just phone in. I was like a Luddite. And now it's so ironic.
Now you're pro.
I know.
Pro Zoomer. The other thing I think we're going to like take forward and like some of the people I'm seeing right now are like, you know, some of the stuff that they're struggling with is pain in their bodies because of the anxiety of this time. And what's helped them is actually working from home. So maybe this pause on society is going to allow us to reevaluate, hey, what does school look like actually? Like, is the model we have right for every child? And what does work look like? Like, why do we assume that if people work from home, they're not going to do the work? You know, like I think there's going to be changes and I hope positive, you know?
I think that's what we've been saying, especially about Vancouver. I feel people that are living in really densely populated downtown cores are going to say, okay, I know how to work from home now. And I can live in a place like Vancouver where I can access the ocean, the mountains, everything I want to do and still be productive. I think Vancouver is going to shine.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, thank you so much, Genieve. It's always so nice to see you.
Yeah, I miss you guys. And thank you to anyone out there. Paige and Ruthie did such a good job. And I got my beautiful flowers from you guys. And I'm very grateful.